Hello, Sam-ariffic science fans! Recently we took a trip to Mercury. Now we're going to continue our trip through the solar system and make our way to the hottest of all the planets. Yup, Sam-ariffic science fans, that's right. Today we're going to unfold the world of Venus! I said Venus was the hottest planet, but I didn't say by how much. Well, I'll tell you, 465 degrees Celsius. But wait a minute, Mercury is closer to the Sun, so why is Venus way hotter? The atmosphere of the planet is much thicker than Mercury, thick enough to crush a person, which creates a kind of greenhouse effect upon the planet. To make it even harder to live on Venus, winds can reach speeds of up to 360 kilometers per hour. With this plus the heat, Venus is the most deadly thing in our solar system. However, the planet may not have always been like this. Scientists think that about 700 million years ago, the planet may have had temperatures similar to Earth's and maybe even oceans. These oceans would have lasted for about 2.5 billion years. We discovered these possible oceans with a satellite known as the Pioneer Venus Project, the first satellite to orbit Venus. More on it later. After discovering this, NASA ran 5 tests with a Venus simulator. They discovered that with these oceans, it was technically possible that the planet had a habitable temperature for up to 3 billion years. Whether or not life was on this planet is still a mystery and may not be solved until we set foot on the planet. Now, more on the Pioneer Venus Project. It was the first satellite to orbit Venus. Launched in 1978, it ran out of fuel in 1992, meaning it lasted for a grand total of 14 years. The satellite itself was fine, but it can't exactly go to the intergalactic gas station to fill up. Haha. As well as discovering that Venus has changed drastically in 700 million years, the satellite also discovered that Venus is generally smoother than our home planet Earth. However, it does have a mountain higher than the world's tallest mountain, Mount Everest, and a canyon deeper than the deepest canyon, the Grand Canyon. It also showed that the first layer of the atmosphere is very foggy, but after that the air is relatively clear. Now, like Mercury, Venus has no moons, and for the same reason, the gravitational pull of the Sun, which is only 108,208,930 kilometers away, it would pull the Moon out of orbit. The atmosphere of Venus is mostly carbon dioxide, which is not on the periodic table because it's a compound of different elements to make one thing. Then we add a sprinkle of nitrogen, and while we have our periodic table out, the core of Venus is mostly made of iron, with an iron and nickel mantle and a molten lava surface. Lava is also not on the periodic table of elements. Now, like Mercury, one Venus year isn't even 2 Venus days long, but it gets worse. One Venus year isn't even 1 Mercury day long. One Mercury year is 224 Earth days, and one day is 243 Earth days. So New Year's Eve and New Year's are on the same day. Now, as I said in the Mercury video, every planet except Earth is named after Greek or Roman gods. Venus is the goddess of love and beauty and victory. Venus is also Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, beauty, and victory. The ancient Romans probably named Venus because of all the planets it would have shown the brightest and most beautiful in the night sky. No, I think we can all agree that this planet is pretty crazy. And if you don't think so, well, I have one more fact that will definitely convince you. Venus spins clockwise. This may not seem weird at first, but it definitely is. The other planets all spin the other way, counterclockwise. There are many theories on why this happens, but I support this one. Once upon a time, Venus spun, and as yet another day that was longer than a year finished up, the planet began to feel a pull. The force pulled so hard the planet flipped upside down, and that is why Venus is so weird. Okay, that was fun, but what was the force? Well, it was the sun. Like I said before, Venus has such a dense atmosphere. The gravitational pull of the sun created atmospheric tides that caused friction between the mantle and core, causing a flip. Anyway, that's all for this video, Sam-ariffic science fans. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.